Hey everyone, welcome to Inkwoven Enchantment. My name is Heather, and I'm excited today to tell you about the two books I've most recently read and why I have loved them. We're going to start off strong with Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood. It looks like this. This is a beautiful tale about a witch who rediscovers what it means to really invest in her family, invest in her life, and invest in her magic. This story is absolutely beautiful. I really enjoyed the adventures that the characters go on. I loved getting to know the main character as well as her friends and family and place of work. And honestly, like if you're at all a book witchy girly, this is kind of the book for you because the main character, not only is she a witch, she also works at a bookshop, and there is a tall, dark, and handsome romance, sort of. It's not very strong, it's a subplot, if you will, but it's really fun. It's really good. I rated this really high and I loved it so much that I'm definitely going to check out the other book that is written by Lucy. It's in the same universe, but it is actually kind of a prequel. I'm not sure which order they were published in originally, but I'm really excited to check out the other book in her writing because I just love this one. It was super fun, and I adored getting to know a character so well. And then the other book that I just finished reading, it's quite a thick one. It is called Drawing Down the Moon by Margot Adler, Witches, Druids, Goddess Worshippers, and Other Pagans in America. Now, the really cool thing about this is that this book has been written multiple times, and I have had the opportunity just to read the most recently edited version, which came out in 2007. Now, I read this in a combination of print as well as audio. I borrowed the audiobook from my library, and this book was so fascinating. There are so many different groups that Margot interviews to better understand paganism, and better understand people's beliefs, understand their belief systems, whether or not they're political and they believe that their beliefs are political, and so much other stuff. Like, this was such a wonderful insight into the history of witchcraft and all of these other potential words that we could use for the craft, but also maybe a look into the future, because one of the neat things is, since this is version 3, she has lots of little notes about how she's changed it from the previous two versions. So one thing that I do want to do at some point is figure out if I can get versions 1 and versions 2 so that I can read those from that perspective and that mindset. I know she adds so much more color here, and she changes her opinion as well, which I think is beautiful. She even mentions that after interviewing technologists, that she's changed her opinion on technology in relation to the craft, which I think is really cool. So it's definitely like a personal history of hers. She did a lot of research. It's a lot of the stories that she heard, but I've really enjoyed this. It was so fun to more deeply understand different kinds of paganism in the United States in particular. There are a few shout outs where she will mention like the origin of some beliefs, like whether they're Celtic or something else, but it's very, very uncommon. This is really just focused on US history, but fascinating read. I wish there was one of these for world history. I would love to know about not just paganism, but I would love it if somebody wrote a book about all of the different polytheistic religions and like the history of like how those each started in their areas and where they are today. I'm sure that those exist for each individual religion, but it would be really cool to have that, or even monotheistic religions, if I'm being honest, because I don't know a whole lot. I know some, and I've read some scripture from various different religions so that I can try to better understand it, but there's so much more to learn, and this book really showed me that. So if you're at all interested in what does it mean to be pagan, who's a pagan, what does a pagan even believe, this is really an insightful look into that and helps you really reevaluate where you stand. I think that the number one thing that I got from this is that ability to question everything. because I learned so much from just this that I've realized that I need to be asking a lot more questions. So I'm really excited to have finished this book. I'm actually going to talk about it with a book club soon, which will be fascinating. And I'm looking forward to hearing what they learned as well, because like I said, I learned a lot, but I know there's so much more that I can pull from this. So that's it. Those are the two books that I've read recently. What have you been reading? Let me know and we'll chat more in the future. Bye-bye!